Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's enjoying their day. Real quick, I just wanted to come on here and to give some encouragement to the men. Definitely want to help the men in this area, in this marriage and relationships. Continue to keep me in prayer. It's been a real heavy week spiritually. A lot of spiritual warfare attacks. Um, definitely, we had some relapses, some setbacks in a lot of areas, and I'm just asking for prayer. Continue to keep me uplifted as I will do the same for you guys. And we're going to persevere and push through. I'm been attacked before in this intensity, but, again, it's sometimes it can be overwhelming. So just continue to keep me in prayer. And we're going to push through and we're going to get to the finish line. So real quick to the men, we're talking about godly marriages. We're not talking about worldly carnal relationships and marriages. But before you get into a covenant with a godly woman as a man, make sure you have your affairs in order. Make sure you're taking care, everything that you need to take care of. Make sure you're ready emotionally, mentally, financially, spiritually. Make sure that you're done your healing, taking care of your affairs. If you've been married before, you know what I'm saying? Make sure that obviously divorce is final, but make sure you took time to heal. Make sure you took time to deal with the emotions and the mental aspects of divorce. If you have kids, make sure they have done some healing. Make sure that you have sat them down and talk to them about the next milestone in moving forward into a marriage, a godly marriage. When it comes to financial provision, understand the roles and responsibilities of what you're supposed to be doing as a man, a godly man, a husband. Right. Make sure that you understand that, that you have to serve just as much as a woman does. Understanding that you have to provide and financially provide. And it's difficult because obviously when you have prior relationships, you have kids, you've been married, you have to pay obligations to the other party because of kids or whatnot, alimony, child support or whatnot. But it can be difficult because that godly woman, any woman, it don't have to be godly or not godly, but any woman in the marriage is expected to be provided for and expected to be served in regards to taking care of the household with them. So, when you can't or you have shortcomings and it's going to cause tension, it's going to cause strife, it's going to cause resentment in a woman's heart because, again, you can't do what you need to do. Right. Because of the other obligations that you have with the other party. So make sure that you're taking care of these things before you get into a relationship. Make sure that you're, having these things outlined. And even if you don't have it, sit down and come up with a plan. I'm going to do a video at some point. No, I don't know when right now, but talking about establishing a plan and coming up with a budget, coming up with these things, sitting down and saying this should be part of the courting phase anyway. But sitting down and talking with your, fiance, if you ain't married yet, or your wife, even before you become your wife, to sit down and talk about this is what I got going on. This is the plans, come up with a plan, a vision, to say, okay, although I got this going on, I need to work towards making some changes, work on, providing and doing what I need to do. But you got to have a plan. So make sure that you're doing these things, man. A lot of marriages, godly marriages can be messed up. The enemy can have a foothold in these types of things and cause a lot of resentment, bitterness. And, obviously, if a godly wife, saying that she's going to the Lord and she's getting that grace for you and saying understanding. But at some point, she has to be provided for. She has to have things in place, and it's not fair to her. And she has expectation and she's been doing her part and her role. And, as a man, you're coming short because of, the challenges of whatever the case may be. So as you move into marriage or a covenant with a godly woman, yes, they have the grace. Yes, they have the patience. Yes, they go to the Lord and they can support and help. But your job as a man is to do the provision aspect of it. And, it's difficult and we can go into the 50-50, 70-30 aspect and all that. But at the end of the day, you're the man, you're the head of the house. Your job is to provide and give that provision, to support, to help with the children, to help with whatever it is may be in regards to of your role and responsibility as a husband. But if you can't do that, it's going to cause tension. That's just one aspect, right? And other things is make sure that you're healed from trauma, from prior relationships. We talking sexually, even when you're dealing with other women, you've been sleeping out, you're sleeping around and doing stuff with the women. You have to detox from that stuff, unlearn abuse and emotional trauma. Get that stuff down. So when you're dealing with a woman and she's speaking and she's doing the things she needs to do, you can be able to be there for her in the right way and understand where she's coming from and be able to have good communication and be able to have good listening skills and work through things, because there's so many footholds the enemy can come through if we're not careful on how we're doing things in regards to marriage. Sitting down, communicating, understanding, talking, working through things. It's been a heavy, trying time for that. And definitely this week has been a test on my marriage in regards to these very things I'm saying. So as anything, especially if you're new, you're newlyweds, you just started marriage, these challenges are going to be here and you have to work through them. And it's so easy to quit and throw in the towel, especially with all the inundation of society and culture of just, going to this woman or messing with this woman or as a man. And you can easily throw your relationship away because it gets too hard or it gets too, you don't always get your way. You know what I'm saying? You're not understanding, your pressure of life, of providing, doing things. You got other issues. You have to be focused and go back to the root of the Lord and what he gave you. And if the Lord gave you a word about your marriage and he's gave you some type of sign or instructions or vision of your marriage, you have to go back to that. You have to remember as a man, why did God put that woman there? You know what I'm saying? Why are you in the woman's life? And it's a lot of things we can discuss. I said I'm trying to keep it short and simple, but about understanding, roles, responsibilities, some spiritual gifts, individuality, personality, suitability, compatibility. I can go on and on. These things have to be worked through as a man to understand, because even with something simple as someone getting support in one area and you're not getting to support in the area that person's getting, you know what I'm saying, then it can cause a conflict. It's something very small. We have to be able to deal with all that, work through all that stuff before you walk into a marriage. So just real quick, just some notes and some things that, again, that I've experienced, are experiencing, and just learning and walking through and going through with the Lord. And he's working on my heart on certain areas, and just also seeing in other relationships and, doing my research and stuff like that. So just take this time to think about these things. If you're married or about to get married, more so about to get married, ask yourself, are you ready for a godly marriage? Have you worked through all the trauma? Have you dealt with the work? Have you, are you mentally, financially? Have you done have you maximized your singleness? Have you done the healing? And in every situation, I want to say this too. Some situations, God has set it up in a certain way to where sometimes, you're not going to be perfect. You're not going to have it all together. And, what I'm saying, and I don't want to spill my testimony just yet, but me and my wife are going to put out a testimony where God has prepared us and set us up to me where she has been a major help in healing. Right. You know what I'm saying? So we're not talking perfection here. We're not talking, you have to have everything correct all the time. But you have some things to think about, and if you don't, have a conversation has to be had and you have to lay it out on the table and make it plain. Right in front of her and let her know, OK, this is what I got going on, and see the plan moving forward. And if you need to take a step back to make some things right, then that's what I'm saying. But don't sit here and be perfect to come into a marriage, because nothing's perfect. And that's a true testament to myself, because there are some things that I wasn't perfect in. And the God has gave Jaquita the grace to see through, and still is seeing through. And some things were a fault of mine in regards to what I've done wrong in previous things. But, what I'm saying, the grace was there. But as a man, there are things that you have to work through. And before you do the things you need to do. Now, for when it comes to other factors in regards to dealing with spiritual warfare, or dealing with childhood trauma, or dealing with certain things, those things must be looked at. But sometimes God works through people. So again, when God gives you a vision and he gives you a purpose, and he includes your spouse before you marry and even during your marriage. Sometimes it's not going to always make sense. It's not going to always go as it seems. So you have to be able to go to the Lord and seek him even the more in regards to that, so you can understand and know why things the way they are, and understand that some things may not always play out the way you think they should. You know, God's ways is not our ways, and his thoughts are not our thoughts. So sometimes even with that, even when it comes to a woman and you might not have it all together, there, even God, in my specific, again, not spilling my testimony too much, but even God can work through your spouse to heal you in certain aspects and help you heal. Now, when I say heal you, I'm gonna take that back. Help you heal, because again, it's not her doing the healing. It's God through her. So the healing, helping you heal aspect is even that. And so that, again, that's another topic. But as a man, just think about these things and see, are you ready to marry in a godly marriage? Or am I prepared? Am I ready to start what I need to start in regards to me being the head of the house and the husband and be able to provide and do the things I need to do? So that's all I got. I don't want to belabor. I hope you guys get something out of this for the men. Continue to stay blessed. Continue to keep me in prayer. Continue to pray. I'll pray for you guys. Those who watch, subscribe, like, share, hit the like button if you like it. You know, feedback is appreciated. You know, prayer requests, leave them in the comments. I will continue to pray. And y'all be blessed and y'all have a great day.